just as the Sony's EV1 modified the ARX 100 compact cameras to put vloggers first. The new ZIV E10 is streamlining the Alpha 60-100 to focus on creatives primarily dabbling in self-filmed video. A 2019 survey showed that 29% of children aged 8 to 12 years old aspire to become a YouTuber. This was 3 times the number of those that wanted to be an astronaut. If you were tasked to design the smallest possible camera that featured an APS-C sensor, an E-mount, and an adequate grip, the ZIV E10 would be that camera. Today, we'll unbox the ZIV E10 to see how it's made. There is nothing in the form factor that is extra. It's quite thin, barely housing a good size sensor before falling out the other side. The height could not possibly be made any shorter as the lens mount butts up against the top and bottom edges. While the grip is minimal, it does enough to improve handling and makes room for the shutter button and zoom control, not to mention the battery housed within. The ZIV E10 weighs 12.1 ounces 343 grams with an NP-FW50 battery and ISD memory card installed. Add in the 1650 mF3, 6OSS kits lens, and we're talking about a 1 pound 5 kilogram setup good to go. For most people who record themselves with one arm extended out, the lightweight camera is a strong positive. Unfortunately, yes, it does take the smaller, old-style Sony battery, and not the ones present in the company's newest full-frame cameras. Coming back to the size, though, the width of the NP-FW50 is already much thicker than the depth of the ZIV E10's main chassis, and the battery's height completely takes up the vertical height within the grip. A larger battery couldn't work unless drastic changes were made. As a camera meant to look inward on the person handling it, there wouldn't be much point in having a viewfinder. The ZIV E10 goes without, and once again, the size is compacted further. There is, however, a more suitable implementation of the Vari-Angle touchscreen LCD that can flip out to monitor oneself in front of the camera. The default screen brightness is too dim to monitor outside and needed the sunny weather setting enabled in the display settings, leading to faster battery drain. The camera uses a more simplified set of physical buttons and dials on the body compared to the Alpha 6100. Rather than a mode dial on the top, there is a mode button that cycles between stills mode, video mode, and S&Q slow and quick mode. In order to further specify what shooting mode I want to use, such as shutter priority, aperture priority, and manual, it's a dive into the menu. There is a philosophy you need to buy into with the ZIV E10, and that's less is more. Having a simplified camera with only the controls needed most, to its prospective owner, will be seen as a positive. The buttons themselves, especially the ones on the back and the shutter button, feel cheap. They have prominent clicks and are loud and full-on plastic, things that come across as feeling like a toy. That said, I think this is by design. Recording yourself in front of the camera means having to juggle a lot of things, both on the production end and the presenting end. It's not uncommon to think I pressed a button, but it actually didn't register, And there is a lot of good that comes from buttons that make it clear that they were pressed without having to double check it. Should you buy it? For under $700, if you can ignore the build quality and focus more on features it provides, that's a strong yes. However, you can still buy these features in another better built camera body like a 6500 and a 6600 for $200 or $300 more.